Hey, thanks for joining in. Today we're going to be taking a look at developing a load for the 8x50R Mannlicher cartridge for the Steyr M95. Keep in mind, I'm a licensed professional. Do not try this at home. Do not replicate these loads. This is dangerous work as there is no load data officially out there for this cartridge, so I am purely making my own loads here. Today we're going to be using IMR 4895 as an extruded powder. Now it is entirely all estimates, so there is you do have to approach this with a grain of caution, no pun intended. But knowing these cartridges, I've been loading 8x50R now for years. I kind of can feel how things would perform using certain powders. So there's a level of confidence I have when I am developing a load. So I think here I'm using 43 grains of IMR 4895 is my max, but again, do not try any of this at home. Do not use this load data. It is entirely at your own risk if you do. So with that being said, I'm going to be trying 3 rounds of each load, so the minimum and maximum. I believe the minimum here is 40 grains, the maximum being 43 grains. So I wanted to get a range and see how the cartridge reacts and fires using this range here. So key things I'm looking for when I'm developing a load, especially in this phase, this is totally preliminary testing. I want to see how the casing expands. I want to see if there's any gas bypass or like soot around the neck of the case, which would indicate low pressure. I'm looking at the primer, the head of the case for any bulging. Particularly, I'm looking at the primer to see if there's any flattening, cratering, puncturing, anything like that. So it's all about pressure sign here, especially when I'm working on developing a load from scratch with no official data. So there is a bit of danger to it, like I've said. So I'm trickle loading here, trickling powder into a pan, get the exact grain amount, and pouring it right into the cartridge. In the case there, I am going to use the machines we use for manufacturing, the Dillon 1050. We have an automated press for this. I am going to use that to seat the bullet. It's just already set up for manufacturing anyways, so might as well just using the seating die there and kick it off. These are 196 grain 323 projectiles. So it's 8mm. It's a little undersized, the 323, but in the United States, there's a large, wide variety of M95s in varying conditions. So the 323 bullet I'm using here, it's a 196 grain, but the key factor here is that it's a 323 diameter bullet. The groove depth of the Steyr M95 Mannlicher is 330. A lot of people might already know, hey, it's undersized, the bullet's undersized. I've seen people online saying that 323s work fine in their M95s. They're blessed to have really nice bores and crowns in great condition, but most of us are going to be using 330s, which we'll be working on in upcoming videos. So just checking out the primer here. Yep, 8x56R brass. We are using Magtech large rifle primers. And let's take this over to the shoot tube, see how they perform. So the perks of manufacturing ammo out of a large facility like this is I get access to a shoot tube. I get to shoot guns indoors. And immediately you might ask yourself, hey, why are you using a rifle that's in very poor condition? Well, you're about to find out.
Actually not liking the wiggle there.
Yeah, so the issue there was when the rifle was in battery, round chamber, the bolt was really wiggly. I was not a fan of that, and I was not going to shoot that rifle. I put that down, found another rifle that's much more snug, tighter fit, a more solid feeling bolt in battery, and I ended up using that for testing instead. So importantly, I wanted to see how the rifle reacts, how it feels. I want to take a good look at the brass, so I'll actually pause and we'll take a good look at the brass. Primer looks really good. I'm not seeing any soot. I think there's some darkening there in the brass. That could just be dirt from the chamber. I didn't clean this gun that well beforehand. Just made sure the bore was not obstructed. Primer looks good. It's still rounded. Nice puncture, no cratering. So I'm pretty happy with that so far, and I'll just keep going. So the 8x50R is a stout cartridge. It kicks, as you'll see here. And actually the stacking swivel got caught in the chute tube, which ripped the band off of it. So yeah, there's some punch to it, but it's manageable. Just taking another look at the brass to make sure that there's no new signs popping up. I'm just going one at a time, checking the brass to make sure that this load's checking out. Panning out a little bit here so you could see the actual rifle firing, not just the muzzle, right into the chute tube. I'm going to take this brass back and we're going to inspect. So back at the bench, I'm just taking a look at the brass from some of the test firing. Again, I'm not seeing any flattened primers, I'm not seeing any cratering or puncturing. Also, something interesting is you can see this texture that's formed around the brass. All that is small amounts of erosion in the chamber, which creates this texture. There are extreme forms of it where there will be a difficulty extracting the case upon firing, but this is very minor and nothing really to be worried about. As you can tell, I'm pretty new to this. I'm not the best orator, so feel free to talk a lot of crap in the comments, tell me how much I suck at it. In the meantime, I'm jotting down the results from the minimum and max load. Overall, I'd say I was pleased with this. I didn't see any pressure signs in this preliminary testing. I'm comfortable now taking these loads to the range and seeing how they actually perform in these rifles. So that would be the next step before I put my stamp on this load and call it good. So unfortunately the audio in this section did not come through clearly, so I'm having to do another voiceover. So I'm just going over the results again on camera, just talking about how it performed, any pressure signs, anything like that, and just going over how the primers looked. Overall, I'd say again this was very satisfactory, and I'm ready to now take this to the range and see how they perform. As you can see in this video, this process could be tedious and pretty dangerous, so your support means a lot. So please share, like, and subscribe this video. It helps me create more loads, keep these cartridges and rifles alive for generations to come to enjoy them. So I want to thank you for your time and watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.